What the heck? Hey, you can't play this game. Nice try, though.
He's just like, how'd you know?
If that works, okay. All right, 1-6, check your progress. Now, write this down under your notes where you put it. Okay, on there, where do you put your notes at? Where you wrote notes, make sure you put the title also, representing relations. That way, in case you need to get on YouTube, you can type that in on YouTube, and it'll pull up the same stuff. All right. Also, write the objective. Student will represent relations and interpret graphs of relations. Write that down. Make sure you write the pass skill on that also, because at the end of the year, when you take your notebook exam, I'm going to ask you what some of those pass skills are at. You better be able to go back and find it. Okay?
I tried to make it.
Yeah. Which one are you trying to watch?
The kids, the boy, and the kid.
Are you watching the Avengers?
Yeah, and the adventures can't work.
Well, I don't know, but it's
Something's wrong with it. Just want to look it around.
No, that's not.
Which one? Oh, this one, yeah. You love this one, don't you?
Yeah.
okay. Okay, find this page. This is the handout that I just gave to you. And what you need to do is the space that's over here on this side is where you're going to write all this stuff right here. So you need to put this open space on the left-hand side. What is this called right here? What's the more technical term? Coordinate plane. Okay. Coordinate plane. All right. You graph on the coordinate plane, right? Okay. So, a couple things here. I'm going to give you some time to write this down. First thing is you need to put ordered pair. What is an ordered pair? It's the X and Y coordinates. It's enclosed in parentheses. And it basically tells me where to go on this coordinate plane, right? If the first X, if it's a positive, then I go to the right. If it's a negative, I go to the left. Where am I always starting? What do we call that? Okay, write that down. Origin is 0. The ordered pair of the coordinates for the origin are 0, 0. It's right in the middle. It's where the two, it's where the X and the Y axis intersect. Good. It's always my starting point, more or less. Okay? So, The y coordinate tells me
Go
up or down. If it's positive,
up, yeah.
if it's negative, down. Everybody understand that? Okay. Next thing I want you to put on there, quad 1. Quad 1, top right-hand corner. Quad 1, the x coordinate and y coordinate are always what?
Positive.
Positive. Good. Write that in there. Quad 2, the x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is good. And it goes counterclockwise. Is that right? Counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so quad 3 down here, the x is, y is negative. Good. Quad 4, x is, y is. Now, what do you notice about 1 and quad 3? Quad 1 and quad 3. Kind of opposite of each other. Good. Okay. What do you notice about quad 2 and quad 4? Same thing, right? Okay, so now let's flick over here, back over here on the left-hand side. Number 2. Write this down. Double T-table. We've kind of touched on this briefly. In the left-hand side, what always goes on the left-hand side? My x coordinates. Okay, what always goes on the right-hand side? The y's. Okay, so now, also too, my x coordinates are considered what? The domains. Write that in there. And the y coordinates are always considered the range. What's another term that we talked about that can be used for domain? Inputs. Good. So range would be outputs. Okay, function goes right in the middle. A function is basically just a fancy term for your equation, or in most cases for that right there, which is called what? Slope-intercept form. Okay, so that brings us to number 3. Function is the same as an equation. The same rules apply as far as getting variables by themselves. In most cases, though, in function form, your variable, one variable, is already by itself. Does that make sense? So you just basically have to simplify. If you know your inputs, can you find your outputs? Yeah, you just plug them in for x, you're good to go, right? Okay, so same as the, also, there's another way that you're going to see it. In most cases, you're going to see f of x equals 2x plus 6, something or other like that. Okay? F of x is the same thing as what? It's the same thing as y. Okay? It's just your outputs. That's all it is. Yeah, it's just an example. Okay? F of x is the same thing as y. Just remember that. Okay? Whatever my output is going to be, it's a function of whatever x is. Does that make sense? That's how you say it. That's how you interpret it. Number 4, slope-intercept form. Here, in this form, a couple things. What do you notice about y? It's in front, but what else? More importantly. Is it by itself? Is there anything else next to it? Or have we isolated for y? if we have, then that makes it by default, a dependent variable. Good. Write that down. And why doesn't necessarily, now, you need to understand this too. Why doesn't need necessarily, y is not necessarily the dependent variable all the time. Okay, because could I make x the dependent variable? How, Shay? If it's by itself, it becomes the dependent variable. Right? Okay. In this form, though, just right here, since y is by itself, it's dependent. Now, by rule, and by default, that makes x what type of variable? Independent. Since y is dependent, it's already by itself, that makes x the independent. Here's what you need to understand too. Now watch this, because this will help a lot of you guys. This x and this y are the same as this x and this y. You guys understand that? Okay? It's the same thing. It's this x and this y. M is the what? Slope. What's another term that we use? Write this down. Rate of what? Change is the same thing as slope, or M. A lot of times in word problems, they say the rate of change is this. That's your what? Slope. Everybody clear on that? This all goes back to word problems, deciphering word problems and where everything goes, right? So I can chart it on a graph. You guys clear on that? Okay, and then B lastly is what? Y-intercept. What is a y-intercept? It has to cross where? The y-axis. So look at this green line. Where is it crossing the y-axis? Right here at 1. So what would I put in my equation right here? 1. Plus 1 or negative 1? See, plus 1. So the plus turns into a, or I said the positive turns into a plus. Same thing, right? Okay. Here's something else that you need to note on there. Circle this right here, or write that in there. The y-intercept, or B, always has an x-coordinate of 0. So if I were to write a point or the ordered pair for this intercept, what would the ordered pair be? 0 and 1. It's always going to have an x-coordinate of 0. You could probably even eliminate some answers just on that, based on that knowledge. Okay? All right, draw you a line going from quad 3 to quad 1. This anywhere. Make sure it goes from quad 3 to quad 1. If my line goes from quad 3 to quad 1, that line is doing what? It is increasing. What's the other term that we use for it? It is rising, right? So if it's rising, it always has a positive slope. Everybody clear on that? Okay, draw your line from quad 2 to quad 4. If it goes from quad 2 to quad 4, that line is decreasing, or what do we say? Falling. If it's falling or decreasing, then our slope is always negative. Now, what do you notice about this equation and this equation? They're pretty much the same, aren't they? The only difference is what? The slope. Okay? Y'all see that? Okay. Well, we already talked about number 5. The dependent variable has to be by itself, all alone. It could be either the x or the
Teachers and students, please pardon this interruption.
The what?
We need all leadership students to please report to the gym at this time. All leadership students, please report to the gym at this time.
Okay, does anybody need more time with that? Okay, now don't forget, it's gonna be on the podcast, right? On the YouTube. So if you missed something, you need to go back, okay? I'll try to upload it tonight if I can. I'm gonna be a little busy. Nah, I'm gonna be the press box, What do you need, Bob? Everybody good? Everybody say no? Okay. Example 1. There's 4 ways, really kind of 3. We'll go ahead and add the 4, and I'll explain why. There's 4 ways to represent a relationship between ordered pairs. Okay? The first one is this one. It's called a what? A table. Okay, you have, what are these things called up here at the top? Ordered pairs, right? We list the x coordinates in the first column, which is our what? Our domain. And then we list the corresponding y. What does it mean by corresponding? What's the corresponding number to 4? 3. It's right next to it, right? So right here goes 4. The corresponding y is 3. What's my y column? Rain. Very nice. You can answer a lot of questions on just knowing that little fact. At least you can eliminate some answers. Okay, so what's the next one under it? -2 and then, good? Simple, real easy. Okay, I will tell you this. The EOI, they love listing the ordered pairs in this format. Okay? They really, really like doing that. Okay? Just remember, these are ordered pairs. Everybody understand that? You'll need to know that for later when we start working on slope and stuff too. Or finding out whether it's a linear equation, all that good stuff. There's a bunch of questions like that on the test. Everybody good on this? Good, good. Good for you? Okay. All right, next one. This is the second method, or the second relationship. We want to name each ordered pair on a coordinate plane. Again, same ordered pairs. There's a couple different ways you can do this. How many points do you have? 4. I'm going to write 4 capital letters. A, B, C, D. Right next to them go what? These ordered pairs. 4 and 3. That's your first point. So now let's locate it. Start at the origin. Go where? No. Don't tell me over. Over doesn't tell me direction. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then up 3. Point A right there. Okay, then B is going to be what? -2, -1, start at the origin, go left 2, down 1, point B. C is what? 10 negative 4, right 2, down 4. The last one would be, so, left or right?
Nope.
Just down, right? Okay, now, there's a second way you can label these points. What's the other way? Anybody know? Why not just put the ordered pairs underneath the point? I could do that also. Okay? Whichever way you want to do, it's fine with me. If you're just going to use the letters though, I gotta know which is what. Everybody clear on that? Okay, don't just put the letters on there and not put the points on there. Okay? Any questions? Easy?
Yep.
I think so. Anybody need more time? Okay, nay? Okay. C, third method. Mapping. List the X values in the domain and the Y values in the range. Draw an arrow from the X value to the corresponding Y value. Okay, so in this left circle is my domain. What numbers go in there?
4,
Good. It's all my X coordinates, right? Okay, what numbers go in the range? Do I have to list it twice? Not in mapping, you don't have to list it twice. Okay? Got it? Now, what do I need? Arrows or lines? If I just draw a line like that, what's going to happen? They're going to count off for that. You guys clear on that? You got to put the arrow at the end. Can I do this? Can I put 2 arrows on each end? No. Don't make that. For some reason, a lot of people made that mistake last year. That's even a multiple choice question. That's even a multiple choice question on your test. I'll ask you, is this 2 arrows right, or? And then 2 to -1, then 2 to 0 to -4. Okay, is everybody good? Now, I will tell you this too. How many of you feel pretty good about a Chapter 2 exam? Raise your hand high. How many of you are kind of yippy? Okay? How many of you think you just failed it all together? Did you? Okay. Even if you did, or let's just say some of you guys are at 78%, and you really, really want that B really bad. This is a great opportunity in Chapter 3, because in my opinion, it's probably one of the easier chapters that we do, to get your grade brought up. We're going to do 1.6 and 1.7. The reason why we backtrack is because these two have more to do with Chapter 3 stuff than they do Chapter 1 stuff. Okay? 3.1 and 3.3, that's our Chapter 3, 4 sections. We're going to get them all done before Thanksgiving. And then we're going to try to do a review after Thanksgiving and then take the test. And it is a great opportunity for a lot of you guys to bring your grade up. Okay? If that's what you want. D, this is the 4th way. And it's not really, I don't know if you can throw it in as showing a relationship, but they're going to ask you to do this anyways. Determine the domain and the range for the relationship. Domain. I'm going to put a capital D equals. Anybody know what that's called? Subset symbol. It's a subset symbol. And then I'm going to list my what? All my x coordinates. Here's the trick though. It has to go from low to what? High. It has to go from low to high. What's the lowest number? -2. Next one is? Next one? 2. And then the next one? 4. Oops. That's not right. Gotta close it with another subset symbol. And somebody, a lot of people just say S and then they turn the paper upside down and draw another S.
Oh, cool.
Okay, how do I do the range?
No question.
Same way. R equals subset.
Too smaller.
Okay, now, do I list -4 twice? No, not in this you don't. -4. Now, you can't really call this representing the relationship because here you don't really know which number goes with what number, do you? Okay, so, but they're still going to ask you, you know, you still it falls in that category somewhat. Sorry. Any questions on that? Yes, no? Okay, example 2. Independent and dependent variables. You need to kind of get used to this because in a way, if you know what the independent variable is, and you know what the dependent variable is, can you put it in a function form? What is another? It's just a fancy term for equation, right? Can I put it in an equation or a function? Hello, you guys with me? You better stay with me on this, okay? This is a big deal right here. Because this will help you. You know, algebra is just a bunch of word problems, isn't it? That you have to turn into an equation. So now, dependent is because this changes because of what is happening with that. You guys with me? In warm climates, the average amount of electricity used rises as the daily average temperature increases and falls as the daily average temperature decreases. Okay. What's the independent? What's the dependent? Very good. So my electricity, or what's happening to it, is dependent on what? The temperature. So that becomes what? The independent. Now, based on what I told you earlier, can I start an equation with that information? Yeah, you can. Okay? If it's dependent, it's got to be what? By itself. Doesn't it? And by default, the independent is what? Over here. What goes in front of the dependent? Or I'm sorry, what goes in front of the independent? What did we say earlier? Slope or rate of change. What goes at the end of this? The y-intercept or
Teachers' kindness interruption. At this time, we need to release the band to the band room. Teacher instruments, color guard, your representing colors need to be released, as well as football, cheer, and pom. Report to the gym. Thank you.
It's the Y-intercept for the starting point. We're not done. You guys keep your stuff out. Okay, number of calories you burn increases as the number of minutes you walk increases. Wait a little bit. Number of calories you burn increases. Which one's dependent? Calories you burn, what's it dependent on? The minutes you walk, right? Good. So can I make an equation from that? What would my calories would equal what? Minutes? What goes here? Rate of change? What goes at the end? Y-intercept, or where I start, right? Most of your starting points are 0, right? Most of them. Not all the time, but most of them. What's happening here? Think about the thermostat in this room right now. What's happening? The temperature, we set it at a certain, like 75 degrees, right? Or 70 degrees. Well, what happens when the temperature falls below 70? The thermostat does what? Kicks on. Once it reaches 70 degrees, what's the thermostat do? There it is. Kicks. So the temperature is going to continue to go until the thermostat kicks back on, and then it just keeps going back and forth, doesn't it? So what the last part would represent, let's say if I went home at the end of the day, what am I going to do? Maybe turn it off. And so the temperature is going to keep doing what? Going down. You guys understand that? There's a couple of those on the EOY test. Okay? All right. Rate your understanding real quick on the front page. Now we're gonna do our pair checks a little different too. Now, hopefully it'll help save us some time. Give this to Steve. Steve, come grab this one. Okay. This is the front of your pair check. Right? Okay. What is this? Right here. Right down at the top. What is this one? Mapping. What is this one? Graph. Okay, so we're going to express a relation. Okay, a set of 3 ordered pairs represented as a table, graph, and a mapping. So what goes here?
-2.
-2.
Oh, wait.
-1. 3. 4. 3.
So easy. Isn't it? Okay, what about the next one? What goes here? -2, 3, 4. Does it have to go from low to high?
Nope.
Not in the mapping. What goes over here?
-1. 3.
My arrows. Clear? Okay, graph. What do I need to do? How many points do I have?
3.
How many letters? I'm going to have 6 letters from 3 points. Okay, my first point is -2 and -1. Now I can go ahead and list them all if I want real quick. Okay, we're just doing one at a time. So the first number start at 0, go
Left two,
left 2,
down one.
down 1, nice. And that's gonna be A. Start at 0, go
Right three, up three.
right there. B. Last number,
Right four, up three.
so right there, that becomes C. Then the last part, determine the domain and range of relationship. What do I gotta put? D equals, what's the order? Okay, and then my range is, oops, put the wrong, through parentheses. Don't make that mistake.
On that side doesn't have any.
No, oh, yeah, you're right. Good catch. Use subsets, because that closes it. Okay? All right. Let's do, yeah. Okay, class has started. Number 1, make sure you write your answers on your, hey, write your answers on your cards, okay? Number 1 is on the board.
So, this is my phone, it's just not wrong. Yeah. You want those peppers? You want those? There you go. Welcome, Bob.
Okay, number 2. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Do you want that? Chocolate shake, milk chocolate. Shake.
Number 3.
It's melted a little bit. You're welcome. Okay, number 4. Number 5.
Pass up your card.
Okay. Ugh. Okay. It's closed out if you want to. Yeah. I thought that was easy.
I do too.